on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Now the details. The federal government has reassured investors and international partners that Nigeria's economy remains stable and resilient despite a recent joint security operation conducted by Nigerian and United States forces in Sokoto on Christmas Day. In a statement released via X today, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, said the operation was a targeted intelligence-led action against terrorism and should not be misconstrued as a sign of internal conflict or instability. According to the minister, the security action was precise, intelligence-led, and focused exclusively on terrorist elements that threaten innocent lives, national stability, and economic activity, adding that President Tinubu's economic objective for 2026 was to consolidate the gains of 2025, strengthen economic resilience, and build a sustainable, inclusive, and growth-oriented economy. Mr. Edon further assured that investors can be confident that Nigeria remains focused, reform driven, and committed to stability, adding that the country remained open for business and firmly focused on the future. Civil society organizations led by the Parliamentary Support and Advocacy Network and the Civil Rights Situation Room on economic reforms have backed the leadership of the National Assembly on the ongoing review of Nigeria's tax reform laws. At the press conference in Abuja today, the CSOS, speaking through the convener, Comrade Ugiri John, commended the Speaker and the Senate President for what they described as a measured, constitutionally grounded, and institutionally exemplary response to public concerns over the recently assented tax legislations. The civic groups maintained that the scrutiny being conducted on the laws by the National Assembly is healthy for democracy but must be rooted in fact and procedure, while lauding the directive issued to the clerk of the National Assembly to facilitate the gazetting of the Act and to provide certified true copies upon request. The civic groups reaffirmed their support for transformative economic reforms while stressing their unwavering commitment to the rule of law and institutional integrity. The officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC have enjoined commuters and road users to see safety on the roads as unified and joint effort as there is an urgent need for safer roads and responsible driving. The FRSC officials led by the Assistant Corps Commander of Monia Unit, Mrs. Olubumi Abiodun Olagoke, gave the charge today during an interview with Agidigbo FM News at the Broadcasting House.
Yes, it has reduced drastically because road safety is always on the road to make sure that motorists are disciplined. You see us on the road in the morning, you see us in the afternoon, you see us in the evening, you even see us at night, just to make sure that our roads are safe, just to make sure motorists are disciplined, just to make sure they obey road traffic laws and regulations. So the rate of crashes last year compared to this year actually reduced. But it can be better. We don't even want any crash on our road again. We want a Nigeria whereby there will be no crash on the road, and this will happen if motorists obey traffic laws and regulations.
In another interview, Mrs. Olagoke also said efforts from the Corps are in place to ensure a high level of safety on the roads, as there have in fact been observations as to if there has been an increase or decline in the amount of accidents experienced this year.
We too, we have not been allowing them to misbehave on the road. Once you misbehave, you'll be dealt with. We even take some to court. We lock some people up because we want this country to be great. So if you disobey the law of the land, you'll be dealt with. If you don't want to be dealt with, obey the law. But I can tell you the rate of crashes actually reduced this year, and I'm assuring you this coming year you will not even hear anything called ROTs on the road because we will not allow it to happen.
The Corps commander further urged all road players to unite and take road safety seriously in order to put an end to avoidable accidents as safe roads begin with responsible choices. The Omwa Yoruba Atata Social Cultural Initiative marked second year World Headdress Day, showcasing different Yoruba cultural head accessories such as caps, gillies, and other traditional adornments. The event was aimed at promoting and preserving Yoruba culture, especially at a time when it was noted that many Yoruba youth no longer fully value their cultural heritage. Speakers at the celebration emphasized that the initiative goes beyond head accessories as it seeks to promote Yoruba culture in all aspects of life. Special recognition was given to the legacy of Femi Awolowo, whose capstone was described as a significant symbol of cultural identity and pride. The event, which took place at the Adamasingba Stadium, attracted prominent personalities including Tunde Odunlade, Femi Akinshola, Adeshoye Omotosho, and Dr. Oriyomi Amzat, who was represented by Are Anisoloja. The richness of Yoruba culture and reinforced the message of cultural promotion. Mr. Femi Akinshola, a prominent guest at the event, commended the initiative for promoting Yoruba culture and encouraging youth to reconnect with their roots.
It is a good idea. It's a good concept. It has to do with the culture. And in a situation like this, where our culture is eroding, we need something like this to gear up our youth to embrace culture. So I really thank the organizers and uh, the chairman of this particular culture concept.
The chairman of the initiative, Mr. Olawale Ajao, discussed the reason behind its creation and what it aims to achieve in the next 3 years.
Reason for the organization of this annual event is because apart from adornment, Yoruba people use caps or headgears. For some, we hope that in 3 or 4 years' time, UNESCO will endorse this project and set one day aside as World Headdress Day.
The event concluded with a strong call for collective efforts to preserve and promote Yoruba culture, reaffirming the initiative's commitment to sustaining cultural values and passing them on to future generations. It is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kuliamza Studio at Gidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola. Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed to have made progress to end the Ukraine war. The US and Ukrainian leaders met at Trump's Mar-a-Lago home yesterday to discuss a revised peace plan, several key parts of which Russia has already rejected, but little has been said on the future of Ukraine's contested Donbas region, which Russia seeks to control in its entirety. Currently, Moscow controls about 75% of the Donetsk region and around 99% of the neighboring Luhansk. Speaking to the reporters after the meeting, Trump said a deal on Donbas remained unresolved, but it's getting a lot closer. Although Zelensky suggested the Ukrainian official could meet at the White House in January, potentially alongside European leaders, as the US and Ukrainian delegation finalized plans for further talks. At least 13 people have died and 98 injured after a train derailed in Mexico yesterday. According to the Mexican Navy, there were 250 people on board. In a statement, the Navy said that 36 people require hospital care and the rest sustained minor injuries, while hundreds of naval personnel and rescue vehicles have been sent to the scene. However, Mexico Attorney General Ernestina Godoy said an investigation will be open to determine the cause of the derailment, while Mexico President also instructed the Secretary of the Navy to travel to the site and personally attend to the affected families. And that ends the news from Kuliamza Studio at Gidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola.
Welcome back. We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kule Amzat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya. U.S. President Donald Trump is expected to push for progress in the stalled ceasefire in Gaza when he meets with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday for talks that will include Israel's concerns over Hezbollah in Lebanon and Iran. Netanyahu said this month that Trump had invited him for talks as Washington pushes to establish transactional governance and an international security force for the Palestinian enclave against Israeli reluctance to move forward. Netanyahu, who will meet with Trump at his Mar-a-Lago Beach Club at 1300 local time, said on December 22 that discussions were expected to cover the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire as well as Iran and Lebanon. The United States has made a $2 billion pledge for UN humanitarian aid. A U.S. State Department official said a $1 billion to reach 87 million people at risk half of the $47 billion sought for 2025, reflecting plunging donor support despite record global needs. That ends the news from Kule and Zat Studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Sonya.
Welcome back once again. Now in the exciting world of sport, 2 people have been confirmed dead following a road accident involving former heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Lagos Commissioner for Information, Mr. Gbenga Omotosho, said the accident happened along the Shagamu Exchange axis of the busy expressway. Photos from the wreck site show that a shirtless Joshua survived the incident without significant injuries, and the former heavyweight champion was surrounded by ruins from the crash and a crowd of sympathizers. The spokesperson of the Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC, Ogun Command, Afolabi Odunsi, confirmed the incident, stating that although Joshua survived the crash, 2 occupants of the vehicle died on the spot. The motor crash happened just 9 days after Joshua knocked out Jake Paul in an exhibition heavyweight bout at the Kaseya Center, Miami, which Joshua has been on holiday in Nigeria since the fight. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. Federal government assures investors United States airstrikes will not unsettle Nigeria markets. IFRSC enjoins road pliers to unite over road safety efforts. Trump says progress made in Ukraine talks, but thorny issues remain. United States pledges $2 billion in humanitarian support to United Nations. 2 dead as Anthony Joshua survives accident on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo, 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Olamide Badmus. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State government has said the over 1.5 million out of school children.
We give you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
The Southwest in Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed every hour, every day.
Agidigbo 88.7 FM. The people.